Welcome to 1555 Minnesota Avenue. I'm here today at one of our recent projects where we have our incredible staging and designer extraordinaire, Vanessa Nielsen from Encore Staging. And I figure we'd talk about the latest trends in home staging and design for 2023. And I think it's very timely because of the amazing job you've done here for us at this project. And plus, hey, I'm a sucker. I know a lot of people watching are a sucker too, to learn what are those design trends.
So the trend these days is just still the natural, white, bright, light, taupe, beige, gray, soft texture, natural feel, bamboo, wood. So natural elements are very in still.
So still very neutral overall.
Yes, very
You're
neutral.
not trying to make things too accented, although we'll get into that in a little bit, because I think you did something very special here, which I was very nervous about. But we want to neutralize it and really make it feel calm, but at the same time, modern and contemporary?
Correct. So as you know, this home was staged, so you can have a trend for staging, but overall it just kind of goes over to in-home design as well. You know, you're living in a home and you want to find something that's on trend, still it's the natural elements that you see a lot of stores carrying. Unfortunately, Z Gallery, things that are full of mirrors, a little bit too blingy, too jazzy, those are not really in anymore.
Okay, so maybe that was something over the last few years. There was a phase there for a little bit, glamming out a bedroom specifically or a bathroom. Because I remember those days, having heavy chandeliers over the master bathroom, or same kind of thing, doing a really fancy light in the middle of a bedroom. So now we're kind of going away and really scaling back to modern minimalism? Is that what you would call it?
Correct, modern minimalism. Hey, he is a designer himself.
Well, I watch your YouTube channel, so I get all these design tips, so.
Yeah, and then the grays are kind of like more earthy tone, right? So it's not a cool gray where it feels icy and cold, but it's got brown, it's got black in there, it kind of tones and mutes it down. So if you see a lot of sheen in things, stay away from it. Well, at least that's the trend anyway. So get things into a matte finish. Flooring, the same thing. Let's talk about flooring trends, right? So,
Well, I'm actually still thinking about that gray. I had no idea you could put so many colors in the color gray.
absolutely.
Man, I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah, so you got the deep gray, and like the gray in your jacket, it's actually
versus a gray in my
on
shirt.
trend. Yes, exactly.
I think I came prepared for today's interview, didn't I?
And that's why we have that gray in the primary bedroom as an accent color.
Exactly. Well, then let's talk about that real fast since we're still on the color gray.
You got it.
Because we have cabinets in here, which to me look some sort of a gray steel color. And then we also have this beautiful accent color in the master bedroom that actually looks quite similar to what the kitchen cabinets look like. So what was kind of the driving decision, or what is the inspiration for going so bold?
And to be honest, I did not know what the kitchen cabinet color was really going to be. But it's that deep charcoal graphite gray that is coming back. I mean, it's a color that evokes luxury. It's a color that was used in a lot of luxury modern homes that are still, that was built 20, 30 years ago, but it's making a huge comeback.
So still really iconic colors,
Yes.
really iconic combinations, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, and then again, the inspiration of the accent wall, because I haven't heard accent walls used in staging or design for probably now 12 to 15 years. I mean, hey, that was the heyday back then. In the mid 2000s to that, almost 2010 period, where it's like, hey, let's do this huge accent wall in every bedroom, red or bright yellow or some crazy color.
That was all the HGTV stuff that everyone was watching.
So you don't get any inspiration from HGTV?
Well, I do, but those were the trends back then, so now we're talking about today's trends.
True, true.
But I do like to keep things a little bit more classy, more timeless.
So it's okay now going back into some of these bold colors as long as they're kind of the classic, timeless, luxury colors that we've always seen through the decades. and we're okay going ahead and spilling those over, so to speak, all over the wall to create a beautiful centerpiece for certain rooms. And I noticed there are no other accent walls within the house besides in the primary bedroom.
Well, that is specifically because this is a spec home, right? So this is a special model unit, if you will, but it is the only unit. So usually in staged homes, you don't really want to get into accent walls too much, because you're just really trying to do it for sale. You're trying to appeal to the highest number of buyers. So you're trying to keep things neutral.
So if you want to go with an accent wall, don't overdo it. Stick to one particular area you want to highlight just to make it feel a little more classy.
Exactly.
Raise the class.
Elevate that room.
There we go.
Elevate that wall.
Elevate it.
Yes. Don't.
Accent to elevate.
Exactly.
That's gonna be the new design trend for 2023. You heard it here first with Vanessa. Accent to elevate. I like that.
Accent to elevate, and then same thing with keeping it minimal, like you were saying. Just choose one wall, and of course, usually that's the wall where your headboard's gonna go.
Got it. Okay. And then there's anything you want to talk about regarding the flooring, since you brought it up a little bit ago?
Yes, flooring. So we've seen a lot of European oak look.
Okay.
So it could be real hardwood, it could be laminate, it could be luxury vinyl planks.
Now, they're luxury vinyl planks, they are making an incredible movement right now. The quality, just the way it looks super natural. I'm really amazed by that product line now.
Absolutely. So you can have a stamped look, and then there's different grades of them, right? Like anything. So the higher grade ones, like you said, we can't tell if it's real hardwood or not. So it's pretty impressive. The wonderful thing about that is water can collect on it for days even, because it's waterproof.
So again, sticking to the neutrals, the naturals, kind of avoiding too shiny a floor. You want something that's very dull, very matte. Again, making it feel like it's organic material,
Yes.
even if it's not, because now we can actually be bold enough to go out there and get a more robust flooring surface where it's not going to be as penetrable or as susceptible to being scratched or damaged as much.
And if you happen to have oak wood in your house, good for you. That's actually really awesome. That's a classy look, right? But the varnish tends to be a little bit more on the orange side. So if you do need to sand it down and then refinish it with a matching finisher.
Something to lighten it up, but at the same time, just be careful, don't make it again over shiny as well.
Or orange.
Now let's jump into lights,
Okay.
right? As we always joke around, enlightening this.
And he's really good with the lighting level. So we also want to have homes that have daylight, right? About 5,000 Kelvin. We don't want to go into the yellow tones when we're selling a home.
We want to avoid going too overboard towards the daylight because we don't want the light to look blue, because if you go too far into that high-end Kelvin scale, you're going to get really blue light. And at the same time, we want to avoid being too low because then you still have too much of a yellow light. So for instance, the lights in this room in particular, they're all about 3,000 Kelvin. And that's kind of that bright white. So you want to really find that really good balance between the soft yellow light and the way too blue natural daylight.
And talking about trends, I'm also seeing LED lights, recessed lights, going from 6 inches to 4 inches.
Yes, I have noticed that as well. So the lights in this ceiling, because we have about a 16 foot high ceiling, we have the large 6-inch cans because we want to have a large enough funnel of light coming down. Yet in the kitchen, where we only have a 10-foot ceiling, we have 4-inch cans. So it's going to depend upon ceiling height and how much area you want those lights to fill. But absolutely, we're seeing a lot more compact lighting.
Yeah, so regular homes are about 95, 96 inches of a ceiling height. So then those are the ones where you want to go with 4-inch lights. Here we have a very spectacularly, grand ceiling. I mean, this is probably what, 15 feet, 20 feet high ceiling. So 6 inches, you can't tell.
And then what I also noticed, correct me if I'm wrong too, but accent lighting is still obviously in, and even though sometimes it's not going to be 100% functional, but I have noticed we're kind of getting away from the Edison bulbs now. and going towards something a little more contemporary all of a sudden?
Well, it depends on the style too. Edison bulbs are still in, but Edison bulbs that are a little bit brighter, like we were talking
There we
about in
go.
the Kelvin.
So away
Yes.
from that deep yellow and now going into more of that middle spectrum.
Yes.
Great, okay. Well then, as we wrap this up, why don't we talk real fast about some of the accent pieces. So for anyone who's watching this, who's like, hey, what can I do to stage my house, get it ready for sale, to really bring up the style, but I don't have a big budget. You know, I'm looking at maybe putting handles on cabinets, or again, maybe replacing a few light fixtures or redoing door handles. You know, a minimum budget, what are some of those top tips that you can give someone about today's design trends?
And you know, that's something that not even people think about. But like you mentioned, door handles, hardware, painting, and flooring, those are always the three magical items in a formula of selling a home, right? Painting the walls white, changing out hardware, like changing out earrings, so it really highlights the cabinet, makes the cabinet look newer. And then if you can rip off old carpet.
But one in particular, what are you seeing as far as any style of a handle pull or any style of a door handle?
Matte black.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so definitely staying still in the matte black, even though what if the cabinets again are colored, or what if the cabinets are natural wood color?
Oh, matte black would still look great because usually the cabinets have a sheen. When it's repainted, it has a little bit of a glossy sheen, so then it actually catches the metal from the matte black, but not too blingy, right? So
Got it, so avoid blinging, okay.
So you can go matte black, you can go the champagne gold. So usually Delta has, they call their gold champagne gold. So those are the matte metals that you want to stick with.
And then last but not least, what if you have a different finish on a faucet and it's, you know, contrasting against that matte black handle pull? Do you have to worry about replacing the faucet? Does it have to match?
No, I wouldn't worry about that so much. Same thing as like appliances, right? You have stainless steel appliances, but sometimes they're not from the same brand. What do? It might have a different sheen. It's okay as long as there's not too much of a contrast. So if everything else was matte black, but the faucet is a chrome, it's still okay.
Very cool. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much. I've learned so much again in this latest, you know, what are the design trends for 2023? I really appreciate your time, and again, job well done. High five.
Thank you.
Until next time, thanks so much for watching. Feel free to go ahead and subscribe and like the video if you like it.
Thank you guys.
Bye.